You're listening to the AOL Small Cap Show, powered by AGORACOM.com, the web's leading small cap portal.
Welcome to the show, everyone. I'm Al O'Grady, and on today's show we have the Vice President of Arianne Resources, Mr. Norman Forrest. Arianne Resources is a Canadian mining exploration company with a primary mission to explore, find, and develop gold and uranium deposits in Canada and Mexico. The company's exploration spending was $1.5 million in 2006, over $2 million in 2007, and over $3 million allotted for this year, 2008. Arianne Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol DAR. Mr. Forrest, welcome to the program.
Thanks. It's been a pleasure to be with you.
Very good. Norman, let's jump right into this. A number of developments since the last time we talked. First of all, Norman, tell us about the projects that you have underway and also give us a progress report on each of them.
Well, as you know, lately we have put out several news advising our investor that our focus has changed a little bit because of the market. And as you know, the market has changed tremendously, and it's quite tough for everybody, even for management or as well for investor. I can say that in the last 6 years, we have seen the significant change in metal pricing that was due to a major fundamental factor increasing investment. That demand was due for the increased industrial and consumer demand mostly. We have seen a much larger percentage of change in the price of other commodities. So if you're looking at phosphorus is a perfect example of that, where about 3-4 years ago it was about $50 per ton, and it's now, it was in September something like $460, and today it's approximately $380. So you can see that the decrease was not as so big in the commodity that in the metal market. So what we've done is we have decided to focus on projects that will bring some value to the company very quickly, because of the market, because of the financing issue, because of everything. One of the key, we believe that the key in the future will be the company that have a substantial mineable asset that could offer a sound profit potential. So this is why we have redirect a lot of our focus into the phosphorus property. In regard with the other one, we haven't dropped any of our products, such as our flagship, which is Opinaka, the gold product. One of the reasons why is that we know that even if we put maybe $1 million in drill today, and we get out with some results such as, let's say, 12 gram over 3 meters, 5 gram over 20 meters, it won't change nothing for the market, because there's no mineable asset that could bring some potential very shortly. So this is why we have, the company has decided to focus mostly on the Lacapol, but we haven't dropped any of our projects so far.
Okay, and speaking of the Lacapol property, I know it's been getting a lot of attention lately. Why is that, and what are your plans for the Lacapol property going forward?
Well, I believe the only question in our opinion is how large the entire project can be. And this is why we have decided to, first of all, to do more drilling in order to increase the resource, but as well to make sure that it's going to be 43-101 in compliance with.
Okay, any idea when we'll get an NI 43-101 report?
We have, I would say this week or early next week, we should have finished the first 2 zones, because we're going to be drilling 3 zones, the PO, the Zone 2, and the Man Zone. We have finished the PO zone at this point in time. We're drilling on Zone 2, and we hope, if we don't have any technical issue or any other issue, that the drilling should be over by next week. And we're going to be starting to do the Man Zone probably in January.
Okay, we'll certainly be looking for press releases and other announcements.
Absolutely, you should see press release shortly. Regarding the drilling when it's going to be terminated. As well, you're going to see press release probably, I would say, either at mid-December or at the beginning of January, as soon as we get the result from the lab. So we're expecting to finish the drilling probably mid-February if everything goes well. And our resource calculation should be done, I would say, by March beginning of April maximum.
Okay, we'll certainly be watching for results there. Let's move overseas. I understand that you were in China recently. Tell us about your business trip there and how Arianne was actually received, having a very lucrative phosphate property that you alluded to.
Well, as you mentioned, the reason for the trip in China was mostly because of the phosphate property, because we were looking to establish our first contact with some fertilizer producer in order to either do a joint venture or sell the property. So we were quite open in regard with that. And we did approach several companies. We have done presentation over there, as well as Chinese, Koreans, and the government of China. And let's say that we have raised some interest. We have two companies at this point in time that we have started to talk, and they're supposed to send us their specification because, as you know, in that specific market, you have to do a lot of tests regarding toxicities and several things like that. So they're gonna send us their specification, and all our lab tests gonna be done toward that. So when we know in February or March, when everything's gonna be finished, we're expecting to get back to them with all the results.
Okay.
Make sure that we're not delaying anything, saying that, well, you know, we haven't done these tests, so these tests are gonna be done already.
All right. Obviously, you have an interest with your phosphates.
We got two producers that they have an interest. One of them is of course, both are Chinese. One of them is a Chinese phosphate producer at this point in time, and he's looking to buy something in North America in order to export in North America.
Okay. What's your take on the commodity prices? I know you had touched on it earlier in our discussion. What's your take on commodity prices with respect to phosphates, gold,
I'm
etc.?
quite surprised about the commodity prices because you've seen what the gold has done, what silver has done, what zinc, lead, whatsoever they have done. Commodity prices, to tell you, the high was in September, beginning of October, phosphorus was about 460. Today, it's 380. So it has decreased not even by 20%. And we do believe that that market is going to go down a little bit more, but as soon as all the major projects from China in every place, mostly China because they're looking to put out 568 billion, which is 3 times more than what they've done when they've built the Olympics. So we do believe that even if the world goes into recession, what's going to happen with that is they will take over all the commodity surplus in the world probably. And at the point that when we get out of recession, we're expecting that there's going to be a major inflation, probably a high interest rate and everything within a year or two.
Wow.
So that could be something. So this is why we do believe the management has decided to go with the phosphorus property because it could be for sale very quickly.
Okay, obviously that's where you're putting your resources, no pun intended.
At this point in time, it's exactly, and let's say unless we get bad results, we're not going to stop. We're just going to finish until it's totally done. But I can tell you at this point in time, we have done, we have drilled on to 150 meters, and there's visible appetite there.
Right. You know, I think that speaks very well as far as your company is concerned. You're willing to change where the market conditions dictate. I mean, you really had your focus on gold, uranium, but, you know, now you're getting a better bang for the buck with phosphate. I mean, that gives you an indication that you're very nimble and you're willing to adjust accordingly, isn't that right?
Absolutely. As a management, you have to look at your shareholder value as well and make sure that you're spending your money when you can get your buck out.
Exactly. Norman, it's amazing how quickly the time has gone by, but we're quickly running out of time. But as always, I leave you with the last word. Any final thoughts? Anything that you'd like to add right now?
I could tell you that I do believe that we're undervalued at this point in time, and the future is going to be the key that company have to substantiate mineable asset that will offer some profit potential. And that's going to be probably the only way for the near future.
Okay. On that note,
that's exactly the way we're looking for at this point in time.
Okay. Norman, on that note, I want to thank you very much for your time and sharing your thoughts with us about Arianne Resources.
Thank you. It has been a great pleasure to be with you.
Okay. And Arianne Resources trades on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol DAR. And you've been listening to Norman Forrest, Vice President of Arianne Resources, on today's AOL Small Cap Show, produced by AGORACOM. I'm Al O'Grady. Thanks for joining us.